It had gained significant ground, only to lose momentum again. By the end of the day, the Dow closed up 102 points. This afternoon, President Reagan told reporters he's concerned but reassured that the economy is sound.
The economic fundamentals in this country remain sound, and our citizens should not panic, and I have great confidence in the future.
Still, experts say we're in a very volatile situation, that this was only a blue chip rally with some firms actually buying back their own stock out of concern over its price. We have an important news item just in. The DART Group late this afternoon announced it will not seek to acquire Dayton Hudson Corporation due to current market conditions. DART says it'll continue selling its remaining shares of Dayton Hudson stock, and that will result in some major losses for DART. Back to you, Kevin.
A lot of people here will be pretty happy about that.
Question concerning the Wall Street activity of today and Reagan's appearance. Can we expect any White House action in all this?
No dramatic action is expected, although Reagan did meet with his advisors this afternoon, and earlier today the Federal Reserve said that it would inject whatever is needed to support the market, and Reagan said he was encouraged by that news.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary Stuckey. Well, the roller coaster started this morning after trading got off to an explosive opening. Traders at Piper Jaffray placed a number of orders to buy as the Dow gained over 120 points within the first half hour. Last night, most felt the Dow would continue to fall, but this morning they expected a turnaround.
Same way we want to take
Peaked at 190 points this morning before falling again. Overnight, foreign currency traders were burning the midnight oil, keeping an eye on foreign trading. Record losses were also reported on foreign markets. The First Bank system is one of just a few 24-hour desks in the Midwest.
What happens on Wall Street usually doesn't have a major impact on the Minneapolis grain exchange, but it did today. Brokers saw a big slowdown in wheat futures. The prices of wheat and soybeans are likely to fluctuate, experts say, until the market settles down and supply and demand take over. The market plunge caused some sleepless nights for some investors here in the Twin Cities, especially those who take responsibility for other people's money. News 11's Alan Costantini says it's a nervous time for a St. Paul man.
No one in the Twin Cities is more interested in the Wall Street roller coaster than Ed Melgren III. Not only is his own money in the stock market, but so is the money he supervises for these people. Ed is treasurer of St. Paul Stamp Works. His family's company makes metal labels for home and industry. He supervises the pension plan for the 120-year-old firm's 50 employees, and he admits he spent a restless night.
I've talked the employees into investing fairly large chunks of their personal income into this, and I feel very responsible for what kind of results we'll get.
When the value of his stock dropped 15% yesterday, Ed thought about selling, but decided not to push the panic button, and he's waiting. In the meantime, he insists the workers should have no fear about the security of their pension money. Even if the pension plan here had lost all of its stock holdings, that would only be about 20% of the plan's total assets. But Ed Melgren says the idea of a pension is tax-free growth, and it's hard to have much of that if the market is falling. Alan Costantini, News 11, St. Paul.
And Ed Melgren thinks it will take about a year of careful investing to replace the stock values he's lost.
Two major banks have lowered their prime lending rate for the first time since July 1986. Chemical Bank and Marine Midland Bank today lowered their prime to 9.25%. That to match other banks around the country. Now, both banks had jumped ahead of the industry last week by increasing their prime to 9.75%.
This afternoon, at least 9 people are dead after an Air Force jet slammed into the lobby of a crowded Indianapolis hotel. This was the fiery scene as crews sprayed down the charred remains of the plane. Huge clouds of smoke billowed into the air. Witnesses say the plane apparently lost power after takeoff. All of those who died were in the lobby of the Ramada Inn. The pilot bailed out just before the crash. A disaster center has been set up at the site.
Well, Minnesota motorists had a slippery awakening today. Most of the state experienced its first snowfall. In Duluth, as much as 2 inches fell in some spots. It's the first measurable snowfall for that city. The fresh snow brought some kids out to snowball fight before school. In Wisconsin, by the way, as much as 5 inches fell in some parts of the state.
Almost looks like fun.
Yeah.
Paul Douglas seems to think that there's more on the way.
The key operative word there is almost, eh? I guess a lot of skiers and snowblower salesmen are probably real happy to see that snow. I was talking to some snowplow operators up in Arden Hills about 2 weeks ago, and they were complaining last winter hit them in the pocketbook. Only 17 inches of snow, and it hurt a lot of them economically. So they're looking forward to a good snowy winter, as are quite a few folks here in the state of Minnesota. A wintry twang in the backyard now. If you're doing any traveling Thursday, you may want to consider snow tires. Somewhere in central or northern Minnesota, possibly even in the cities, there could be some accumulating snow, maybe enough to shovel, maybe enough to plow. Still early to be talking about amounts, but keep that in the back of your mind. Our trivia quiz question on this fine-looking day deals with World Series games played during a snowstorm. Has it ever happened? Has it ever snowed during a World Series game? Yes, no, extraordinarily dumb question, Paul, or B and C, but not A. Place your bets. On the satellite sequence, here's the latest on what's happening right now in St. Louis. There is St. Louis right about here. Skies have cleared out after a wet start this morning. It's 52 degrees. They have sustained winds of 26 miles an hour out of the northwest. Game time temperatures in the mid-40s. It will be dry. There could be a few flurries into St. Louis late tonight, but it will be a dry sky for Game 3 this evening. But weather could be a factor. Let's hope that our hardy Minnesota boys, they're used to the cold winds. Maybe that'll be an advantage. Who knows? Busch Stadium at last report was not domed. Going to be a lot of unhappy fans in the stands this evening with wind chills in the low 20s. It is going to be a chilly game indeed. Here are the low clouds that leaked a few snow flurries and even some snow showers. Doppler picking up a polka dotting of snow showers right now. Most of them east of the metro. A few snow bursts reported from some of our weather spies, enough to whiten up the ground and make it look Christmassy outside. And you could see a snow shower this evening. Harsh, cruel winds on the backside of Alberta Clipper number 1. High pressure will clear us out tomorrow. Here comes Alberta Clipper number 2. And even though it's not going to have much moisture to work with, it is conceivable there could be a couple of inches of snow, especially up towards Duluth and St. Cloud and Mille Lacs. During the day on Thursday is the problem day. 40 degrees now with a few flurries out there. The forecast for tonight calls for windswept flurries, 27 to 32. Tomorrow, a better day, partly cloudy, 37 to 42. The next chance of a little snow late Wednesday night into Thursday. More on that coming up. Kevin and Kirstin, you'll want to stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Ooh.
Thanks.
See ya.
Still to come on News 11 at 5. The Twins tough it out with the Cardinals, the battleground, Busch Stadium.
We'll go live to Busch Stadium as Game 3 of the World Series gets underway in just about 2 hours. We'll be right back.
Come on and feel the heartbeat. Thunder is the heartbeat.
88 S10 4x4. The all-new 88 full-size 4x4. There, Chevy Thunder. Priced right. Built tight. Fog lights, light bar, grill guard, special striping. 4x4 Thunder from $199 a month. Only at your Twin Cities area Chevy team.
Come on and feel the heartbeat. Thunder is the heartbeat.
Buy a Eureka vacuum cleaner now and get our exclusive double buyer protection. It's protection so sweet, it'll sweep you off your feet.
Available at best catalog stores.
Chewy's challenges Milk-Bone to a chew-off. Which one cleans teeth better? And they're off. Milk-Bone is just a biscuit. It's crumbling fast. But Chewy's in the right lane is made of real beef hide. Gives teeth a marathon workout. Watch. A leading university test shows long after Milk-Bone goes to pieces, Chewy's keeps going strong, so it gets teeth twice as clean. When it comes to cleaning teeth, Chewy's wins paws down. And look for new beef-basted Chewy's for a taste dogs can't resist.
To keep your shredded cheese fresh, you can stick to the old ways. Or you can try the new Zip Pack resealable bag from Sargento.
It's happening. Now. We're taking on the big guys. Steak fajitas from Taco Bell. Come on. One bite of steak and you'll wonder why you hadn't switched to Taco Bell sooner. Or the next bite's on us. Guaranteed. The steak fajita bite and switch. Now at Taco Bell. Sure, it's a challenge, but it's no contest. Hello, Taco Bell!
Game 3 of the World Series between the Twins and the St. Louis Cardinals gets underway in just about 2 hours. The game begins tonight at 7:30 at Busch Stadium. The Twins go into tonight with a 2-game lead. We'll have complete coverage from St. Louis on our post-game show and called Extra Innings, and of course on News 11 at 10. And Twins fans are already getting ready for tonight's big matchup on TV. People waited in long lines outside the Minneapolis Star-Tribune offices to get a hold of a Homer hanky today. A whole new shipment of the hankies came in this morning, and they've been selling like hotcakes all day long.
Of course, the Twins are gearing up for tonight's matchup, both mentally and physically, as they face the Cardinals on their home turf.
We go live via Skylink 11 right now to Busch Stadium, and News 11's Paul Magers and Tom Ryther. How are you guys doing down there?
Doing pretty good. We're trying to stay warm right now. Every once in a while, the sun disappears behind a cloud down here in St. Louis. And it is windy, as you can tell by Tom's hair, which is held down by super glue. It's real windy out here. And it's cold.
I tell you, today it was about 60 degrees. It was beautiful, and in the last 3 hours, the temperature has dipped. And this is going to be colder than anything we saw at Detroit, and I thought that was cold. They're talking about a temperature, Paul, of 30 degrees and a wind chill in the low 20s.
Well, what about the winds inside the park? Is it like Candlestick Park, perhaps, in San Francisco?
No, not nearly like that. They'll swirl, but nothing like Candlestick Park. But the thing it's going to do is make the players' hands cold. It'll affect the hitters. I think the hitters more than anybody, and especially it's the kind of night you don't want to feel the line drive coming at you.
You can't overemphasize that. It is. It's very cold out here. We want to show you something that appeared in the paper today.
All right, this is in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and a lot of good-natured kidding going on down here. This is a good-natured series. Both these teams and fans, they have a lot of respect for each other, but this says it shows the big Cardinals squeezing the life out of a couple of Twins. Well, and now we'll see this here, because this was an ad bought by the Pioneer Press and Dispatch that said, okay, world champs, forget it, St. Louis. It's not in the cards. A good comeback, and that by the Pioneer Press.
Yeah, very nice ad. The half-page ad for the Cards, the Twins get a full-page ad in the same newspaper. That's a pretty good deal.
Came out on that pretty good.
Absolutely. Well, a number of Twins fans have arrived in St. Louis already to cheer the Twins on. About 100 Twins fans got off a charter at the St. Louis airport this afternoon. All were decked out in Twins t-shirts and sweatshirts. Some were blowing Twins whistles. And then it was time for a little hanky-panky.
We got him.
You were out there. I was over in Centralia, Illinois, in Gary Gaietti's hometown. You were out at the airport. It was an exciting crowd.
Paul, that was the peppiest crowd I've ever seen getting off of an airplane. The minute they set foot, they're going, sweep, 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 and whistles were blowing. I thought, boy, this is great. You know, it really got me in the mood right away.
Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, let's go down inside the stadium. Jeff Passolt's down there right now. Jeff?
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Well, things really heating up here on the floor of Busch Stadium. The crowd of media seems to be getting bigger with each passing game. Cardinals in the batting cage right now taking some of their swings. And, you know, they talk about the size of this ballpark and how big it is. I'm just going to kind of back out of the way. One thing that might be in both teams' favors tonight, the wind is blowing out. You can see the flags up there high atop the stadium. It's a chilly one, and they say that the ball carries farther in cold air. I guess we're going to have to wait and see tonight. We had hoped to have a Twins player on with us. We'll tell you how serious the Twins are about this game coming up here tonight. They're in the midst of their team meeting, and we were hoping to talk to Bert Blyleven. I'll tell you what, I know we're going to hear from the other half of the Blyleven family. Patty Blyleven will be with us on our post-game show. Again, the Twins in a team meeting prior to this game. We'll go back outside now to Tom and Paul.
All righty, Jeff, thank you very much. A couple hours away from game time. Your thoughts tonight?
Well, I think we're going to see this huge ballpark. In fact, at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a story on just how big this park is and how hard it is to get a ball out here. And later on, after the game, Jay Randolph of NBC Sports will join us.
All right, and also on our extra innings report tonight, I'll have a story on Gary Gaietti's hometown, Centralia, Illinois, a very charming little place.
Go Twins.
Absolutely. We'll come back to you in the studio now, and of course, we'll be back at 6.
All righty.
I'm glad to see Tom's having fun. He's enjoying himself.
See you later, guys.
Garrison Keillor made his thoughts about the Twins public today at an appearance at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. Keillor was promoting his new book, but like many Minnesotans living around the country, he had the Twins on his mind.
Strange thing to have spent your adult life rooting for a team, and then the very day that you close on your house and get in your car, that same night they clinch the Western Division of the American League.
Keillor is now living in New York after spending the summer in Denmark.
Still ahead on News 11 at 5, what the U.S. plans to do following yesterday's attack in the Persian Gulf.
And the story of a woman who has found her own fountain of youth. We'll be right back.
You hear the thunder, the call of the road. No time to wonder, you gotta go. You feel excitement, yeah. Ride Pontiac. Get on your Pontiac and ride. Pontiac ride.
Hit the road in a hot new 88 Pontiac now. See your Greater Metropolitan Pontiac dealers today.
Get on your Pontiac. Rebuild excitement.
Avoid the Noid with the Domino's Pizza Guarantee. We guarantee your pizza will be delivered within 30 minutes or you get $3 off your order. Guaranteed. And we guarantee your pizza will taste great. If you're not satisfied with your pizza, we'll replace it or refund your money. Only our pizza is guaranteed to avoid the Noid. Domino's Pizza delivers. Call now.
Do you have the most complete health care coverage possible, or are you settling for something less? MedCenter's health plan. Your coverage better be this good.
I must own a half-dozen pair of boots, but these are the ones I use. You can tell by looking at them. Just like even though I've got other yellow pages around the house, this is the one at the top of the pile, US West Direct. It stays on top because I can find everything I need right here. US West Direct is the one I use. You can tell by looking at it.
US West Direct, the one that gets used.
Minneapolis motorists are being warned to be on the lookout for street sweepers and signs marking roadways for cleaning. Crews began sweeping the streets today. Temporary no parking zones mark the routes for cleaning. Motorists who do not obey the signs will be towed. The street cleaning effort will continue through mid-November.
From the update desk this afternoon, an early morning fire that leaves people homeless is under investigation.
Andrea Shane is in the newsroom with that story and more. Andrea?
Kevin and Kirstin, a family of 3 is staying with friends after a 2-alarm fire damaged their home, a fire that is still under investigation. Firefighters had to climb ladders to get at a back porch and second floor of the duplex at 1017 22nd Avenue North. They worked for more than an hour to control the blaze. Arson has not been ruled out yet. $20,000 in damages was done. 2 more Minnesotans have died from the AIDS virus this week, according to the health department. So far, 151 people have died locally, and currently there are 261 cases of the AIDS virus in the state. Nationally, almost 25,000 people have died from the virus, and right now there are almost 50,000 cases of the AIDS virus in the country. Yesterday's attack on an Iranian oil platform met bipartisan applause, but the debate over U.S. policy in the Persian Gulf rages on. Brenda Butner of our Washington Bureau tells us about a Senate resolution that could shift the decision-making powers. Brenda?
Andrea, some tricky footwork on Capitol Hill today. A group of senators are sidestepping the War Powers Act, but are still trying to push through a measure that could wrestle control of U.S. foreign policy away from the president. The burning remains of the Rashadat oil platform, pounded by gunfire yesterday from U.S. warships, sparked many threats, but still no reprisals from Iran's leaders.
Everything really is quite quiet. There has been and was no Iranian military action, and it could be interpreted as a response.
And on Capitol Hill, U.S. policy in the Gulf is far from settled. Senators today debated a resolution that supports U.S. presence there, but questions the reflagging of Kuwaiti ships.
We have to sort out, in a coherent way, just who deserves our protection and how much.
The Byrd-Warner resolution would require the president to report to Congress within 60 days on the escort operation. 1 month later, Congress would vote to continue the policy, end it, or change it.
Why should there be blind trust in a policy devised by those who weren't hesitant to sell arms to Iran?
And the Senate will juggle this issue along with the Bork nomination in the next few days. But as one senator put it, time is short in a region that promises not to stay quiet much longer. Andrea?
Brenda, any sense of how the vote will fall on the resolution?
Well, attempts to trigger the War Powers Act have traditionally been blocked by a Republican-led minority. This resolution sidesteps the act, so it could have a better chance of passage.
Okay. Thank you, Brenda. And finally, a water main that ruptured at the Dome after Sunday's World Series game is fixed this afternoon. Water gushed into the street yesterday, and 4th Street had to be closed during rush hour. Officials say vandals broke a valve on the sprinkler system out there after the game. This morning, the water line was fixed, and a street sweeper had been by to clean up. And that's it from the newsroom. Kevin and Kirstin, back to you.
Okay. Thanks, Andrea. Well, today's 11 Country Good Neighbor played a major role in establishing an American Cancer Society charter in East Otter Tail County. Evelyn Kruger of Perham devotes much of her time to informing people how to cope with the loss of a loved one from cancer. Her husband died of it in 1978. So we salute Evelyn Kruger for making Perham and all of 11 Country such a great place to live.
This afternoon on A Time to Remember, a 72-year-old woman who has a special reason to get up in the morning, thanks to the bright faces of her young friends. News 11's Tom Ryther has the story.
Now this looks like a nice American home, and it is. It's here in Bloomington. But there's something very special going on inside this home. Come on in, I'll show you. Inside the Walters home, there is laughter and joy. Those smiles have meant the difference between a life of sorrow and a life of meaningfulness for 72-year-old Anna Zerconi.
They've been wonderful medicine. They could use extra love and looking after and extra help, and I need their love too. Pointy?
Anna was married for 46 years. Her husband has been gone for about 16 months. When she looks into the eyes of the youngsters she visits at a daycare home, the sorrow and the pain are gone.
I didn't think I'd have a reason to live when Mike died. And they give me the reason to live, to keep going, to help, to reach out and help others.
Anna moved to Minneapolis after her husband died. It has not been easy, but she can be with some of her children and the kid she has adopted as a volunteer.
I wanted to do something. I wanted to make some use of my life. I couldn't see myself at the age of 71 then, and just staying at home. And
Tom Ryther, News 11.
Great story. Still to come on News 11 at 5, Paul Douglas will have the answer to today's trivia question.
And something to boost Twins fans watching tonight's World Series game in the Twin Cities. We'll be right back.
Since the Johnsons got their Mitsubishi Mirage, they've been driving a lot more.
Nice car.
But who can blame them? With its sleek styling, roomy full-cloth interior, and its many features others don't offer.
Nice car.
And considering the Johnsons got their Mirage for just over $8,300...
Nice car!
They can spend more time and money in their car instead of on their car.
Once more around the block, Dad?
Mitsubishi. Suddenly, the obvious choice.
Heat your home with Bryant's Efficient Formula Gas Furnace and get 1 month of free gas. Or heat your home with the ultra-efficient Plus 90 furnace and get 2 months of free gas. Formula and Plus 90 from Bryant. Up to 97% efficient and fired up with free gas.
In New Richmond, call Countryside Plumbing and Heating, and in Minneapolis, call Dale Huber Company.
A moment like this happens once in a lifetime. That's why you insisted on Kodak VRG film for sharpness, brilliant color, and amazing detail. And why you chose film developing using the Kodak Color Watch system with Kodak paper, Kodak chemicals, Kodak computer monitoring. One moment, one chance. Trust Kodak VRG film and the Kodak Color Watch system, now at all Target stores.
Las Vegas, the 60s, mecca for high rollers and street hustlers.
Get them out of here.
America's playground, the mob's bank account.
Let's go.
One team against the odds, fighting to preserve the law.
We've got nowhere to go now except to me.
In a town filled with passion and vengeance.
You're going to the joint!
These are the men of Crime Story.
You move or I'll kill you!
Crime Story, Tuesdays at 9 on TV 11.
Let's head on back out to the backyard and Paul Douglas. Chilly forecast.
Taking the pulse of the atmosphere here in the Twin Cities.
That's very good.
Maybe not.
I thought you tried that last week.
That's right. It was written up a misdemeanor. Let's check Doppler, show you what's happening right now. One snow shower up near Forest Lake. Another one just north of Minnetonka, around, let's call it Orono. Those snow showers and snow flurries will be gradually fizzling out here over the next couple of hours. Tomorrow the sun comes out. Here's the big news. Long about Thursday, look at this. 1 to 3 inch snow amounts, not out of the question, up towards St. Cloud, Duluth, Brainerd. Yeah. Maybe even a coating to an inch, pretty close to the Twin Cities. Tonight, no problems, just a few flurries, 27 to 32. The sun tries to come out tomorrow, 37 to 42 with less wind. Wet snow Thursday could be trouble if you're heading north. Temperatures at 43 may be a little high, may not get much above 40. Flurries taper off Friday. Some sunshine returns Saturday. Temperatures on the cool side. Has it ever snowed during a World Series game, Kevin and Kirstin?
The C is too obvious. A and C, I would say.
Kirstin, quickly?
I'm simply going to say A, Paul.
A is absolutely right. You may not remember this. You have to go way, way back. The cold, snowy series of 1906, the Chicago Cubs against the White Sox. It was in the 30s, flurries, harsh winds, and get this. My favorite quote from David Ludlam in his book. This is from the Associated Press. With a frost nipping fingers and toes, perfect baseball was an impossibility. The practice of both teams was exceedingly ragged. The cold hands of the infielders refusing to cling to the ball, while the outfielders missed many flies which were blown out of reach by the wind. Could happen this evening with those 25-mile-an-hour winds in St. Louis. The weather's going to be a factor, Kevin and Kirstin.
Was that all one sentence?
It was a run-on sentence,
yeah. That was a great
They didn't
sentence.
write well back in 1906.
They talk like a lot of broadcasters, though, right?
Yeah.
Thanks
So
a lot.
long.
And finally, the craze is taking Minnesota Twins fans by storm, the Homer Hanky.
For those who will have to wave their hankies in front of the TV set during Game 3, we leave you with some inspiration. It's going to be a classic. My Baby Does the Hanky Hanky. Have a good night.
Our twins like to touch them all. Off the bat is the big long ball. Their picture stands all alone. Carry bags and we stroll on home. My baby waves the Homer Hanky. My baby waves the Homer Hanky. Our twins wave the Homer Hanky. Start with you, wave the Homer Hanky. Everybody wave the Homer Hanky. Everybody wave the Homer Hanky. Everybody.